Our top focus, the DMK is asking the Supreme Court to review its order upholding the EWS or economically weaker sections quota. Now, last month, as you know, the court had upheld the 10% quota for economically weaker sections of the forward caste. Even then, the DMK had criticized the verdict. Tamil Nadu's Chief Minister Stalin back then had called it a setback to social justice. And now his party has officially filed a review petition. Now, according to the DMK, upper castes are using the EWS quota to easy and luxurious reservations. The party has called it a mask for upper caste communities. Let me explain their legal argument in very simple words. The Indian Constitution does not define who constitutes weaker sections of the society. It only talks about scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and sections similar to them. So the DMK says that upper caste groups are not eligible for reservation. According to them, these communities have enjoyed generations of wealth and education, so their experiences cannot be compared to scheduled castes or scheduled tribes. In simple words, it comes down to discrimination. The DMK says poor people from the SC, ST and OBC categories are excluded from the EWS quota, while comparatively well-off people from upper castes get the quota. It's a debate that was settled by the Supreme Court last month. A 5-judge bench had looked into the constitutionality of the EWS quota. 3 of the judges out of the 5 had upheld it, while the other 2 had dissented. In many ways, this debate probes the basic idea behind reservation. Is it supposed to be about social justice, or is it supposed to be about economic justice, or is it supposed to be about both? We have mentioned the EWS quota multiple times already, but let me also tell you why it's controversial. Until 2019, reservations were given on the basis of caste. Historically, backward caste groups were allotted seats in colleges and government jobs. But the EWS quota flips the criteria. It is exclusively meant for financially weaker people from the general category. So if your family income is less than 8 lakh rupees per year, you are eligible for the EWS quota, and this includes income from agriculture, business or a profession. But there are certain caveats to this reservation. If the family owns 5 acres of agricultural land, they are not eligible. If they own a residential plot of 1,000 square feet or more, they are not eligible. If these caveats do not apply, you are eligible for a 10% quota in educational institutions and government jobs. On the face of it, this quota may sound logical. If caste can be a criteria for reservation, then why not poverty? But parties like the DMK disagree. They say the idea behind reservation is to solve social injustices, not poverty. Plus, why does the EWS quota only apply to the general category? Because the fact is there will be even more financially weaker families amongst the SC, ST and OBC categories. So we've put the story to you. Now let's quickly go to our guests and understand the point of view that each party is bringing to the table and eventually to the Supreme Court as well. It's a chat I promise not to drag. Hi everyone, good evening. Narayan Thirupathi, spokesperson BJP, back on the show with us. Dr. Narayan Lakshma is associate editor of The Hindu. Thank you very much. And Mr. A. Saravanan is spokesperson of the DMK, back on the show with us. Good to have all 3 of you here today. I know everyone is glued to the exit polls today. We'll come to that only at 6:30 when we are surer of the numbers. But this is something we thought that was important to discuss. Mr. Saravanan, when the matter has been settled by the Supreme Court, when in 2019 the Constitution has been changed to say that EWS is perfectly constitutional, why drag the matter to the Supreme Court? The debate is settled, right?
No, Shreya, the debate is not settled. Actually, the judgment has opened the Pandora's box. We have sought review of this judgment on various grounds. And the review could be sought only if there is an error apparent on the face of the judgment of the Supreme Court. Before we go to the grounds on which this review is sought, I would like to remind everybody that our Constitution paved way only for, as pointed out by you, socially, educationally and culturally backward people. There was no place for giving reservation on the basis of economics, because economics is fungible. You are a millionaire today, you may become a pauper tomorrow. I am a pauper today, I may become a millionaire tomorrow. So how do you, what is the yardstick to measure poverty? And poverty, this reservation, is for social affirmation and to ensure that the downtrodden people, people who have been pushed to the brinks by 1,000 years of oppression on the basis of caste, other things, to get relief. Since they were oppressed only on the basis of caste and community, we are saying that benefit should be given only based on that caste and community, not on the basis of what they were not oppressed. They were not oppressed because they were poor. If they were oppressed, they were poor, there is no problem at all. We can give them economic reservation. But that is not the situation here, and that is why we opposed it. And when we coming to this judgment...
But Mr. Saravanan...
Yes. Yes, Shreya.
But Mr. Saravanan, here's the question. Here's the question. There is a Dalit woman right now who's the president of this country. And what a proud moment this is for all of us. For how long have reservations been around in this country? Since the 1950s. Even, B.R. Ambedkar, the father of our constitution, hadn't envisioned that the reservations would last that long. Now, if the government is expanding it, not taking away, by the way, not taking away reservation from the SC, ST or OBC category, then why have a problem with it? A poor person has as much right to a good education as a Dalit person, irrespective of whether he is Brahmin, OBC, Dalit or any other community. Are they not citizens of this country? Is it a crime to be a Brahmin?
No, Shreya. It's not a crime to be a Brahmin, but it is a crime when you are taking away all the opportunities. So you put a question, very valid question, that 75 years has gone. We are having this reservation, we are having this affirmative action. But how many members of the backward community, the scheduled community, the scheduled tribes have become Supreme Court judges, or secretaries, or professors in IITs? So that is the question we need to ask. Are they equal? Are they proportional to the population they represent? If that is the situation, yes, we can do away with the reservation. But have we reached there? That is the question we need to ask. But sadly, the answer is no. So any number of RTIs will show how many upper caste Hindus are there occupying niche jobs. How was this possible? See, you were talking about the president, that we have a president from the most oppressed community. That is welcome. But let us not forget what happened to the erstwhile president, Mr. Ramnath Kovind, at Puri Jagannath temple. Why did that happen? He is a rich man. He was the first gentleman of the country. But what happened to him? He was ill-treated inside a temple. That is the oppression. That is the caste bias we want to fight. And we cannot fight that when economic reservation is given only for upper caste Hindus.
Because the OBCs and the SCs and the STs already have reservation. And a substantial part of it. Anyhow, let's get the other point in. Let's get the other point of view in. Narayan Thirupathi, I know the argument you're going to make. Give me a minute. Narayan Thirupathi, you are spokesperson of the BJP. Fact is that what Mr. Saravanan says, he does has a point that yes, reservations have been around in this country for 75 years. But just take a look at the report that has come out today itself. That at IIT Madras, in IIT Madras, only 3% of the faculty belongs to the SC and ST community. So while there have been reservations for 75 years, what have they actually done for the community? And when you give reservations now to the upper class, we need, at least the original framers of the constitution, for them it was always about social justice and not economic justice. So you're violating the spirit under which these reservations were given.
See, number one, the DMK has been lying on everything. As Mr. Saravanan lied today about our former president, Mr. Ramnath Kovind. Nothing happened to him. He himself has denied what all said. And all this propaganda that he was ill-treated is definitely, again, a false thing, the false narrative DMK set up and the other parties set up. So that is what they have been doing all these 75 years. Number two.
Mr. Thirupathi, I will say one thing. You will say that I am disturbing you, but I will say one thing, Mr. Thirupathi. My intention is not to disturb you or, break your chain of thought. But please let us accept that there are temples in this country where if you are not a Hindu or if you are an SC or an ST, you cannot enter, sir. Let us please accept that.
Yes.
I don't want to name names, but all of us have gone to those temples, Mr. Thirupathi. Let's not deny that historical fact, sir.
Shreya, we need to understand that in a book called Waiting for Visa, Dr. Ambedkar had very clearly written that not only in Hindu religion, in Islam, in Parsi, in Christian, everywhere, in all religions, this untouchability is there. That is what Dr. Ambedkar had said. This is there in India in all the religions. Why do you pinpoint only Hindu religion? I don't say that in this religion, untouchability has not been practiced. But we have to remember that right from the day one, it was the Brahmins who took Dalits inside the temple, including Madurai Meenakshi temple and other things. Let us not go to that subject. See, as far as the reservations are concerned, wherever it is necessary and wherever it is compulsory, wherever it is possible, definitely the reservation should be given to the SC, STs and the OBCs. And I strongly condemn everyone, including you, stating that this 10% EWS is for the upper caste or forward caste. There is nothing called forward caste or upper caste in our constitution. I think we are wrong in that. Even this law doesn't say like that. It is economically weaker section among the, the general category. That is what open category. That is what we are saying. We need to understand this. Why do we bring a forward caste or upper caste here? This is what the DMK is doing.
No, so essentially, Mr. Thirupathi, what you are saying is that it is not just for Hindu forward caste, it is also for the Muslims, it is also for the Sikhs, it is also for the Christians. That is what you are saying. So you are saying it's not just for forward Hindu upper castes.
No, there is no forward caste or upper caste. There is nothing called forward caste or upper caste. That is what I am saying. Is it there in our constitution? No, it is not there. In Tamil Nadu alone, more than 69 castes are there in the EWS. Are they are all Brahmins? No, Muslims are there, Christians are there, and DMK knows that. Knowing fully well, they say that it is for Brahmins. That is what they do, all this propaganda here. Always these people are lying. That is what I said. How Mr. Saravanan lied about Mr. Ramnath Govind, that episode. We all know. Do you agree? When he was telling, you were also listening to it. It did not happen. But it was a story. It was a story created by people like Saravanan and parties like DMK. And this is how, they are doing injustice to the country. They have done injustice to the country. BJP brought Mandal Commission. BJP appointed Mandal Commission. Can anyone deny? And it was under Mr. Morarji Desai's cabinet when Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Mr. Advani was there.
Mr. Saravanan wants to get a word in.
Was formed.
Yes.
Let Mr. Saravanan get a word in. He wants to say something to you, Mr. Tirupati.
Yes, Shreya, BJP
Okay, you made your point. You made your point. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Shreya, BJP is the party for the upper caste Hindus, by the upper caste Hindus, to the upper caste Hindus. They are there only to promote the welfare of those particular community of people. See, they say we have done so much for the backward community. No, they're not at all. We filed a case, Shreya. DMK filed a case for giving reservation for OBC students in the All India quota. The High Court ordered the case. High Court said, yes, you'll have to give them. But the union government, the BJP government dragged it. We have to file a contempt petition. We'll have to move the Supreme Court. 10,000 students have been not benefited because
Mr.
of that.
Saravanan,
Your
Prime Minister comes from the OBC category and you're saying that the BJP is a party for the upper class, by the upper caste, etc.
You have to allow me here.
I'll tell you something.
You have to allow me here.
Tokenism. We all know how RSS.
Mr. Tirupati, of course I will. Give me a minute.
People, they have tokens, they have symbols. RSS will use these symbols effectively and show that they are doing all that, but they will not do anything. Even today, even this year, we have petitioned the ministry that the OBC students are not given. There is a fraud in allotment of seats to them under the All India quota, which has been mandated by the Supreme Court.
Your Prime Minister is an OBC, bhai.
So what?
Sir, what are you saying? How are you calling the BJP? Anyway, I'll let Mr. Tirupati answer that question. Dr. Lakshman is looking at the proceedings very amused. I'll just come to you, Dr. Lakshman. Give me a minute. Let Mr. Tirupati have his say. Yes, go ahead.
I wanted to counter this. In 2008, this OBC reservation was given in all the educational institutions of central government. But why it was not given in for postgraduate medical from 2008? It was not given. Congress DMK was in power at the center. Why they have not given? In 2015, it was the BJP government in the Supreme Court said, we are ready to give a reservation in postgraduate medical sciences in all the central universities, and it was because of BJP now this court order has come. We need to understand this. We have given it in writing. As usual, DMK in the Madras High Court, Mr. Wilson, who had appeared for the government of Tamil Nadu, also a DMK person, DMK MP, he has lied openly in the television that the BJP government, central government, had opposed this reservation, whereas it was the BJP government which has vouched for OBC reservation. And that is why I am telling you, all these lies the DMK has been saying, for Mr. Saravanan's information, for the last 20 years, the BJP has got the most number of SC, ST MPs, BC MPs, MBC MPs in India.
Okay. Dr. Narayan Lakshman, you've heard both the sides. You've heard both the sides, Dr. Lakshman. Just place this debate in the political milieu of Tamil Nadu. I mean, I'm not, there is an entire separate debate about what happens to merit, etc. There's a separate debate about the fact that there are certain states in this country after the EWS quota, where the reservations will be touching 75%. That's fairly ridiculous if you ask me. But anyhow, we'll leave those two debates aside because then that confuses matters. Just place this current debate in the milieu of the Tamil Nadu politics.
Well, Shreya, I think everyone acknowledges that Tamil Nadu's development over the last, more than 50, 60 years has been about bringing disadvantaged communities to the forefront. And of course, caste-based mobilization was a part of why the Dravidian movement itself was a political success from the party's point of view, both the DMK and then later the ADMK as well. I think inherent within that movement as a core value is that there are certain castes which have been historically disadvantaged, and socially and educationally that gets manifested in the opportunities that they have. And that movement had a lot of echoes in this state. And that is why these two parties, and presently the DMK, have extremely deep roots, and they are to a great extent unassailable by national parties, whether the BJP or the Congress. They pretty much play second fiddle in this state. So in that way, let's not forget, Tamil Nadu is a very unique state when you look at how caste-based mobilization and caste-based upliftment has actually happened in practice and in policy. So when you consider this extensive history of caste-based upliftment, which began in 1967 at least, maybe further back, you have a situation where it's going to be difficult to overnight ram an entirely new concept down the throats of the polity here, because when you're moving from caste-based and historical and social injustices to economic poverty, to poverty and economic criterion as the entry barrier, you're looking at different time dimensions. So when you're comparing a historically disadvantaged community to, let's say, a particular individual or a family that has gone below the poverty line, the timeline you're looking at is different. So as I think Saravanan said, and indeed it's an old argument, economic fluctuations can go up and down within a generation. Whereas what the Constitution sees as, and the 103rd Amendment does not really recognize, is that social justice is a much more historical, long-term concept. And you're trying to cater to the needs of those communities which suffer inherent handicaps and barriers because of that. So what is happening in this context, Shreya, is that it's difficult because you're moving from communities and historical disadvantage to something much more short-term, and you're moving to individuals or families. You're moving to smaller units. I think that's where Tamil Nadu people in politics are having trouble accepting the basic premise of what's happening here.
But again, I have exactly 20 seconds, Mr. Saravanan. Fact is that no one is taking away anything from the SC or the ST or the OBC category. That is the one point I'm trying to make here.
No,
This is
no,
additional
Shreya,
reservation that is coming. The SC. Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Lakshman. Give me a minute, Mr. Saravanan. Go ahead, Mr.
Just
Lakshman.
very quickly, you had mentioned that earlier too. See, they are excluded from the general category, and therefore, in that sense, those who could have competed in the general category are definitely pushed out. This is a zero-sum game. When you're reserving for one group, you're not reserving, you're cutting out somebody else. And I think the point here is that you did not want to have them excluded from the EWS, which they are. So in that sense, even though we have President Murmu and you have Prime Minister Narendra Modi as examples from different communities who've come forward, that still doesn't clearly say that the rest of that community or the bulk of that community is not disadvantaged, that all of them enjoy the same chance. That is just sociologically as a phenomenon, not the case.
Mr. Saravanan? 10 seconds.
Yes,
I think you were trying to make a point. I have to wrap up the debate after that.
Yeah. See, you're saying there is nothing that is taken away from the SC, STs and BCs. This 10%, where will it come from? It will come from the 100%. So the reservation effectively goes to 60%. So earlier they were competing for the open competition of 50%. So now they will be competing only for that 40%. So 10% is exclusively carved out for upper caste Hindus. And of course, people from other religions.
How is it upper caste Hindus? Muslims will not benefit. Sikhs will not benefit.
I'm coming to that.
Christians will not benefit.
Yes, Shreya, I'm coming to that. That is where the ingenuity of the BJP comes into play. How they are playing. I said, I will qualify that with a statement. When you are saying 8 lakh rupees, virtually everybody will be eligible. For the Muslims, yes, they are there. But if you are making it 1 lakh or 2 lakhs, that is going to be the guide. That is going to be the upper limit of this reservation. Then the Muslims will be benefited. But when we are making this as 8 lakhs, when everybody is competing for that pie virtually, where will they get those benefits out of this 10%? So effectively, you have taken 10% of competition where they can compete. The BCs, SCs and STs, will be affected.
The creamy layer is applicable in OBC.
10 seconds. Mr. Narayan Thirupathi, my producer is screaming at me. Yeah, go ahead. 10 seconds, please.
The creamy layer is applicable for OBCs also. Will Saravanan or DMK will ask this OBC creamy layer to go off, and the creamy layer should be 1.5 lakhs or 2 lakhs for OBCs? Will they do it? See, in OBC case, from 1.5 lakhs to it went to 2.5 lakhs. DMK was shouting for that. And it went to 4 lakhs, then it went to 6 lakhs. Now it is 8 lakhs. And those who demanded 8 lakhs, now they are saying that this 8 lakhs should not be there for EWS. And this is how the DMK plays the drama. This is how the DMK plays politics in these things. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay. I think all of you have had your say. So we leave this here. This was a good discussion. Thank you very much, Narayan Thirupathi, Dr. Narayan Lakshman and A. Saravanan for joining us at the top of 6. Thank you very much indeed. With that, I'm slipping into a quick break on the show. From Tamil Nadu, we are shifting our focus to Gujarat. At 6:30 p.m., we have Pawan Khera of the Congress joining us, talking to us about why he and the Congress party are so upset with what the Prime Minister has done today. That's coming up next. Do stay with us.